All right. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome, y'all. We are talking family secrets. I think this is a beautiful on time discussion for a Sunday. Look, a Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon. Because one thing we know, honey, what goes on in this house, what stays in this house? What goes on in this house stays in this house. And I think a lot of us were raised like that, speaking, and I'm sure many families have their secrets, right? Whether you're black family, white, Latina, um, you can ask anybody off the street, say, as it relates to family business, family challenges, family secrets, is that something that your family is open to discussing? Or is that something that people in your family will go take to their graveyard to make sure that the family secrets do not get out? Look, hold on. I want to talk about this show. And I can't remember who asked me to watch it. I don't know if it was YouTube or somebody else or a subscriber, but somebody was like, Queen, can you check out this show called Family Secrets? And I was like, yeah. Well, I don't know if I was like, yeah. Let me quit lying. I don't know if I was like, yeah. So I checked it out. I was completely blown away. Okay. And it's about this lady named Lydia who revealed the moment. She tells her story step for step from beginning to the end. If she found out that her husband, who's a pastor, was having a secret affair. Okay. Not only with an employee that he kind of forced her to handpick, that was like a male assistant, but she discovered that her husband was having secret sexual affairs with other men. Other men, right? She later discovered that her son had been diagnosed with HIV. She didn't know he was gay as well. So not only was she hit in the face, right, from her perspective. And when we're breaking down this story, we're going to break it down from her perspective. It has nothing to do with, nor does it represent the views of me as a facilitator of the conversation or the views of those in the chat. We're talking about this as she laid it out on OWN Network. Family Secrets, season 1, episode 1. Lydia, a pastor's wife, finds out that her husband and her son are gay. Let's take a look at some of the sneak peek of the episode. I don't know how much I can share, but I'll try to share as much as I can. For those of you that are tuned in, listen, I'm going to have to interrupt it every now and then just so that I can break it down and give my viewpoint in real time. YouTube does not favor us playing people's content straight through. Okay. So for copyright reasons, fair copyright reasons, I am allowed to use it, but I have to make sure that it's not in its original format. Okay. So you don't have to ask me, why are you interrupting? That's just the rules. That's the way it goes. Most people on YouTube know that. Let's take a look.
Meredith family experienced our latest secret when my son, Micah, came out. He just announced it and walked out. Didn't give us time to discuss it or anything.
I said, big deal to me. In my mind, I thought, you don't have to be like me. Don't be like me. Follow your conviction of being gay and just be.
To discuss it or anything.
I said, big deal to me. In my mind, I thought, you don't have to be like me. Don't be.
I'm sorry. I was on mute. Damn, I was just talking. So this is Dennis. Let me start all over. This is Dennis. He's the gay husband / pastor. This is Lydia. She's the wife of Dennis. Lydia, this snippet that you're looking at, Lydia is discovering not only is her husband gay, but her son is gay. And her son didn't just come out and say, I'm gay. He's basically throwing it on his parents that I have HIV. I have HIV. Now, Lydia first discovered that her husband was gay probably between the 4th or the 5th year in the marriage. Y'all, please help me out in the chat. I know we're real big on technicalities and facts over here. I do believe it was between the 4th and the 5th year. She went into her garage. Was it videos that she saw or was it pictures? Y'all, help me out real quick. Because I was like, was it the video? Did the pictures come first or was it? What was it? Yeah, this story is very wild, but she found out in enough time. We're going to get into all of that. So first I want to cover her responsibility in this mess, this drama. I want to cover her responsibility. Then I'm going to talk about his responsibility at the end. So y'all got to follow me closely because we're going to talk about both sides of the coin. But my question is, when she she found the video. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Somali. So she found out, this is how she discovered her husband was gay, because I don't even know. I'm going to hesitate to say that he was in the closet. And here's why I say that. While she was in the garage cleaning and or organizing, she discovered pornographic videos of the same sex, right? And she confronted him about it. And he did not hide it. What he told her is he sat her down and he said, I have an attraction to men. Okay. And the first time what he said is, I'm bisexual. I'm bisexual. Okay. He got arrested first. Yeah, you sure right. Did the arrest come first? You sure right. Let's back up. Why, Sean? We got to back up. We got to back up. Okay. Thank you, Noel and Washawn. They said, no, ma'am, she had to pick him up from the popo first. Okay. Thank you, Noel. So let me back up. I'm ahead of myself. I knew I was going to get ahead of myself. Lydia, happily married, right, gets a call one night from the police. Says that we have your husband in custody. He was arrested for solicitation of prostitution, male prostitute, if I'm correct. He was caught doing stuff, soliciting sex from a man. He's a pastor. Completely blew her mind. He and she talked about it. He told her, listen, it's just something that I think about. Y'all help me out. I've been fantasizing about. It was a one-time thing. It's done. It's done. She said, okay, I'm not leaving you. I'm not going to destroy our marriage. I am going to be here with you. We're going to pray about it. Okay? Because what goes on in this house, what? Stays in this house. So they ended up staying together. He came back to her and said, listen, I feel like God is calling me to something else. I need to get out of here. He wasn't really upfront with her initially, the real reason he wanted to go, but he did talk about it in the documentary where he was saying, listen, he was kind of feeling ashamed that everybody knew or that the word would get out. Stop that. My dogs are making a lot of noise. He was ashamed. So he talked her into moving to California, relocating. And in the moment she said that in that interview, I was like, girl, he's setting you up. He gonna get you away from everybody you know so that he can move freely about the cabin. And that's exactly what he did. They moved to California. They started the new church. He became minister at the new church, and he picked up exactly in California where he left off, right? So they left their small hometown. And his behavior in the church, according to Lydia and Dennis in this documentary, started to attract more gays to the church, to the point that one of the parishioners, somebody in the congregation went up to him and confronted him, not necessarily about him being gay, but they just said, According to Dennis in this documentary, he said that one of the ladies in the church came to him and said, "We didn't start having gay people come to this church until you came to this church." Let's back up. 4 to 5 years in her marriage, she gets a call from the police that her husband has been arrested for solicitation of prostitution. Now, notice he didn't get 4 to 5 years, did he? I'm just saying, I had to get one in there. After he's arrested for that, he talks her into moving away. He told her it's a one-time thing. He's been fantasizing about it. It's a one-time thing. It's just something he's thought about. They move away. He jumps in full speed ahead, unbeknownst to her knowledge. Got it? People in the church start picking up that it seems like the demographic and the atmosphere is changing in the church, according to him, because they said, now we got more gays in here. That didn't happen until you got here. After she finds out her husband is gay, who's a pastor, right? And each time she discovers something new, y'all, it becomes more graphic and more detailed. Only to find out one day her son comes to her and says, "Not only am I gay, but I have HIV." And this is what we're taking a look at right here.
Down. Didn't give us time to discuss it or anything.
I said, big deal to me. In my mind, I thought, you don't have to be like me. Don't be like me. Follow your conviction of being gay and just be. But Lydia was not open to it.
Now, let's be honest, sir. Your wife was not open to it because you were sleeping with men and you were in the pulpit and she had given her entire being to you, giving you kids, you promising her that it was a one-time thing, only for her to discover time after time after time. Not only were you lying about being bisexual, but you are full-blown attracted to men. Let's continue.
I was afraid because I was over the HIV ministry at the church.
Y'all, do you understand the hypocrisy? So now we got the dynamics of a husband and a wife, right, as a union, who's passing off this beautiful life as happily married couple, Christian religious, brimstone Baptist, right? Then you have that dynamic. Then you have his dynamic as a pastor of a church. You have her dynamic as the first lady of the church. Then in addition to that, she's over the HIV ministry. In addition to that, preaching the gospel, the word of God. He's sinning by indulging, according to the word of God, in same-sex sex, and he's cheating on his wife. Let's continue. But they're passing themselves off as great leaders in the church. And people wonder why people don't want to go to church. But let's go.
I had seen men dying. I'd seen boys dying. And I knew that he was at risk. I didn't even think about Dennis and HIV. And that's the strangest thing.
So the entire time her husband has been cheating on her in the marriage with other men, unprotected, she said it never occurred to her that her husband could get HIV, in turn, give it to her. It wasn't until her son came and said, "I got HIV and I'm gay," that it hit her. Wait a minute. Dennis, my husband, could actually get HIV. All of this while pastoring a church as leaders of the community.
Never thought that I could get HIV, but I thought about my baby and HIV.
This is her son.
Been out of the closet a year, and then I contracted it.
So a year after this is Michael Meredith, Dennis and Lydia's son. A year after he came out the closet, he contracted HIV. There's a lot to unpack here. Let me say it again. A year after he came out of the closet, he contracted HIV. Not only is it a problem for what they did and how they did it and the lack of responsibility and accountability, they set their son up for failure. They're setting the church up for failure. Because how can you pray for me and fast for me and my family or whatever I'm going through as a single woman, single man, married, and you in your own house is in shambles. So much so, you are leading a double life, so much so that you can't even educate your son about how to protect himself as an openly gay man. And the reason why I say openly gay man is because he said a year after he came out the closet, he contracted HIV. Maybe if his mom and dad had not been so worried about putting on and faking, shucking and jiving, they could have embraced him a little bit more and gotten real with him a little bit more so that they could have prevented the risk of him getting HIV, right? But if if daddy is straight and mama is straight and I got to be in the closet and nobody understand what it's like to be gay, and the whole thing is that's a lie because your dad's gay. And she lied. Thank you, Sharikia. She lied for the husband because people in the church started to suspect that he was gay. Rumors start going around that her husband was going to the park. Baby, I look at the park different now that I've looked at this dynamic. I was like, the park? And I was like, oh my God. So basically, what she shared in this documentary is park. The word park, or the parks, are where a lot of men meet up to engage in hidden same-sex activity. And I'm like, oh Lord, this lady, child, everybody gonna be like, what you going to the park for? We got park at home. You can go running behind the house. You don't need no damn park. No, sir, we don't go to the park over here. No, ma'am, we don't go to the park over here. The hell you mean you going to the park? Okay. So they started whispering about the pastor being gay. Y'all, she started going off on people, other women in the congregation, talking about what you will not do is talk about my husband, ma'am, when you knew they was right the entire time. Blasphemy. Ain't that crazy? That people try to make you seem like you the crazy one when the whole time you're spot on. And when they came to her to say something, she made them people feel like they were crazy, so much so that she went off on them. And the whole time she knew, because he had already told her that he liked men. But she wanted to protect this secret so bad that she was willing to risk and sacrifice the well-being and the mental health of the people in the church by accusing them of being liars and starting rumors and making up things. It blew my mind. It blew my mind at how deceitful and low down people can be. Because it went beyond his sexual preference, right? To her masquerading around impurity and willing to punish anybody out loud in the church who kind of knew for a fact that he was gay. And you're misrepresenting yourself in the pulpit because you're trying to sell us something different than the reality of what's going on in your house. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that part. Pineapple. Watch this. His mother actually. So the lady that's married to the pastor that's gay, guess who helped her figure out who his, up until we get to a particular point of him leaving her, she allowed him to have sex with other men just so she can stay married and say, I have a husband. It wasn't until the end of the documentary, she said his mother told her mother-in-law, said, if you want to know who he's sleeping with, the person he's sleeping with is probably right in front of you, probably on the first row in the church. And that's how she came to find out that not only was this man gay, this man had fallen in love with the assistant at the church, which was a 28-year-old man, and was in a full-blown romantic relationship with this man. Let's continue. Let's hear about our son and then skip around a little bit.
I was 20
I was in Florida, and Dennis calls me and he tells me that Mike is HIV positive. I took the next plane back to Atlanta, and I was there within a couple of hours. And his dad is crying, I'm crying, his brothers are crying.
He was really scared. I was pretty scared too, but I just felt like in that moment I could tell my brother, we're gonna find a way for this to be okay.
And let me just say, so Mikey is the youngest, one of the young sons that was diagnosed with HIV. When he was diagnosed, he was 20. Now, keep in mind, HIV can lay dormant for a number of months, weeks, to a number of years. So he was probably a teen when he contracted HIV, a teenager when he contracted HIV. For those of you that are really into the Word of God, as you're listening to this, some people believe that there's scripture to support that the sins of the father can be handed down to the next generation. Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe that? The son was infected. So the father was gay, preaching in the pulpit, having numerous amounts. I mean, he would even come home sometimes at night, all whatless, and would get up and go preach on Sunday. Multiple irresponsible relationships with other men. So it was beyond gay. He was out there appeasing any desire that he had. Oh, the dad caught gonorrhea. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. So the dad, when that woman said, I'm not leaving you, she set herself up. Because I think in that moment, he realized she didn't give a damn about herself. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into all of that. Some of you believe that this generational behavior was handed down because he didn't repent. He wanted to continue to lie, not only to his wife, but to the congregation. And he denied knowing anything about gay people. So he wasn't openly acceptive of gay people neither. So keep that in mind, right? Because you got to remember, he was getting in that pulpit preaching the word of God against sinful nature, misrepresenting not only himself, but his beliefs. Show Styles and Spirits. Let me see what you have to say. Show Styles and Spirits said, I don't want to believe that the sins of the father can lead to the son being affected. That seems unfair. But in the spirit world, it may be possible. Yeah, we're just throwing out, because I was like, the question is for those of you that just came in. So this documentary is not reflective of my views as a facilitator of the platform, nor is it reflective of anybody that's in the chat participating via chat. We're just talking about some scripture. We're talking about her point of view. Then we're going to get into his point of view. Okay. That requires a level of maturity to not come in and personalize things and say, you believe or she believes. So we're talking about, do you feel like the church folk, right? And people that are raised in the church may have felt like because of his behavior, it was handed down that the sins of the father will impact his children. Simone Wealthy says, was the son molested or was, I don't know. See, and that's the problem with this documentary. There are some, like I said earlier, there are some families, especially in Black families, that's going to take secrets to the grave. You just don't talk about it. I wondered too, but they didn't get into that detail, that level of detail.
That was one of the most horrific points in my life. But I believe God was going to save my son.
You know, my mom was like, you're going to live. You're going to be okay. Even though that we had medicines and stuff like that, and at that point, I still was thinking, you know, I'm going to die. It took me about 4 years to where I wanted to live and to where I felt like I could have a good life.
Now, the mother had the same notion about her husband when she found out that initially when he was arrested, that was the first time she heard of him being attracted to men. Okay, because he was arrested because his ass was in the park. He was out there patrolling the street, soliciting for solicitation of prostitution. He was looking for sex with men, and he approached an undercover officer, and he was arrested. That was the first time. The second time is when she was cleaning the garage, and she found man on man videotapes. If y'all get my drift, she confronted him about that, and he said, "I like men." She said that God was going to heal him, or she felt God was going to heal him. She was listening to Christian radio. She heard about something, and she enrolled his ass in a therapeutic program to heal him of being gay. What he did is he actually pulled a Martell Holt because he got smarter in learning how to cheat. So he just covered it up and pretended to be delivered. That's what he said. He pretended to be delivered so that he can get her off his back and a therapist off his back, which leads many people to say, well, hell, what's the point of going to counseling if you're going to lie? Exactly. So not only did he continue to lie to her, he became more sophisticated in how he indulged himself behind the scenes with other men. He said all of the right things in therapy, and he started to lie to the therapist. It's crazy. T.A. Cole says conversion therapy does not work exactly, especially when that's your preference. But she believed God was going to heal him. Like she also believed that God was going to heal her son. And that's why some things, and I know some people may beg to differ, you can't just pray away. You can't just pray away everything. Some stuff you're going to have to get in there and accept the hardcore truth and let it be sometimes. Or in the words of some saints, give it back to God. Let's continue.
It was a moment of reckoning. My son was living his truth. But for nearly 20 years, Dennis and I had been hiding ours. And now our kids were having to face the gossip about his double life. The image of our perfect family was.
So even though he was in a full-blown homosexual relationship, so he had transitioned from having meaningless sex over the course of 20 years. Ain't no telling how many men he's been with, right? Putting her at risk. But let me ask y'all something. Does she bear any responsibility in any of this? T.A. Cole says 20 years is a long time. I think I have to agree with you. Because after 20 years of allowing your husband to sleep with other men, ma'am, I don't think that's your husband. I don't think that ever was your husband. I think he used you as a breeding meal. And what I mean by a puppy mill. And you fulfilled his perfect life. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you watch this documentary, that man didn't have any ounce of regret whatsoever. He sat through the entire 45-minute interview smiling, showing all 32 of his teeth. You hear me? Smiling. Like he had hit the lotto, the jackpot, and she was the jackpot. She was the perfect beard. What makes a perfect beard when you know that a man is not being true, in the words of Shakespeare, to thine own self be true? It's not the fact that he's gay. It's the fact that he's not living the truth. He's tricking the church. He's tricking his children. He's not being fair to her. He's not being fair to anybody, including his gay lover at one point. So for 20 years, she supported this foolishness. She allowed him to assume a double life and damn near lost her mind when he left her for a man. Let's continue. Let's continue. Hold on. Thank you, Simone. I see she bears 75% of responsibility. He let her know early on, enough time that she could have gotten out and started her life over. And she's a beautiful woman now. Because as they go through the documentary and they show pictures of her, she was bad to the bone. Okay. He giving Sandy the squirrel from SpongeBob. Ma'am, you could have easily replaced him because it's giving Sandy the squirrel. She was complicit. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's continue. He had it all, green tea. She sacrificed herself. She sacrificed herself just to be able to say, I have a husband. I have a husband. And I have a family. And even though my husband don't want me and he wants other men, I have a man.
I started to hear things about my father being promiscuous. You hear people, they say things like, yeah, your daddy was in the park. I was like, what? What's the park? They be in that bathroom. They be in the bushes. And I'm like, my dad would never go in the park.
Dennis Meredith. If you are here in the palace, come on out them bushes. Come on out them bushes. He said that he started, look, they didn't just hear about their dad being gay. They heard about him being promiscuous. He was out there bad. Come on out them bushes. He said, what's the park? You know, they be in them bathrooms. And one thing about black folks, we not going to hold back when we hear a rumor. Yeah, they be in them bathrooms. They say, your daddy in them bushes. Getting booty in them bushes. Let me.
All right, Palace, the Super Chat Squad is in the building. We appreciate you, baby. The Super Chats are fire. Get in your bag.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Tawana, Oppressing Women's Network. Thank you for the 5-piece and the pepper. Tawana said his vacation picture set it all for me. Listen, we're going to get into all of that, okay? You make a good point. Precious Gems, thank you for the 2-piece and the pepper. She said, what's the name of the documentary? The name of the documentary, I'm going to put it in the chat, is called Family Secrets. Blew my damn mind. It's on OWN Television Network. Family Secrets. It's actually good. But yeah, he was in them bushes. And so the kids started hearing about it. What you say, Anitra, not getting booty in the bushes? He was. So the kids started to have to hear about their father being promiscuous, not even gay, right? As the central theme. Like, hey, your family's in shambles. No, your father is promiscuous with a lot of men. Your father, who's the pastor of this church, be at the park, not in the pulpit, not at the church house, but at the park, in them bathrooms. He be in them bushes. Let's continue.
And behind bushes and, stuff like that. So I was shocked about that.
One Sunday, Dennis preached a horrible sermon, and I was sitting next to his mother, and his mother said, now you just look around, whoever he's fucking is right in front of you.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that? The mother, Dennis's mother, which would be the wife's mother-in-law, got tired of the bullshit and looked at her and said, whoever my son, and the word she used was fucking, excuse my language, is right in front of you. The mama got tired of her being dumb. Thank you, Sunflowers. The mother-in-law was real. You know what? I don't know. The mother she just got tired of it after 20 years to say, you mean to tell me you don't see what's going on? Everybody in the church know your husband is gay. Everybody in the church know your husband is sleeping with men, and you really finna sit here? You really finna sit here and look like a goddamn fool Sunday after Sunday after Sunday? I'm tired of it. And most mothers wouldn't even get involved. But the mother said, whomever he's fucking and a sucking is right in front of you.
The rumor was that Dennis was seeing LeVar, the man he'd begged me to hire as a teacher.
This is LeVar. OWN is messy. Oh, they didn't went and grabbed a picture of LeVar. This is LeVar. LeVar probably like, damn, how I get in it? They got your picture. Let's continue. This is LeVar, Dennis's lover.
in the child care center I had been running for a decade. And I called Dennis and I asked Dennis, was this true? He didn't deny it. He did admit it was true. And I said, how could you do this to me?
Ma'am, he's been doing it to you for a number of 20 years. And every time you confront him, he didn't lie to you. He's always told you he wanted to be with men. And you said, I'm not leaving my marriage. God is going to fix this. You were the perfect beard. You didn't put up any fight. And then he convinced you when he got older and he finally decided he had enough of being in them bushes and he wanted to settle down. He convinced you to hire LeVar. What? K-Joy, send me a picture right now. Right now. When he got older, he traded her in for a younger model and got him a 20-something-year-old boy, young man, convinced her to hire LeVar and put LeVar in the daycare center at the church. Let's continue. LeVar is in a documentary too. Child, here we go.
And she's very angry because how dare me bring my lover into that school, and that was wrong. That shouldn't have happened.
This man don't give not one fuck. Listen, I was like, first of all, thank you, Palace, for turning me on to this show. I was blown away. I didn't have on pearls, but I was clutching my pearls. This man was the happiest. This man was in hog heaven throughout this entire documentary. Do you blame him? She didn't put up a fight. She didn't demand respect. You gonna hire LeVar? Oh, that's fine. I'll stay out the shit, and I'll stay out the park. I'll stay out them bushes. If you gonna bring the bushes to me, right here in the child care center. And he smiled, y'all. That's why you don't bend over backwards and give your back to anybody to step on. That did not bother him that he ruined this lady's life. This lady went into a deep, dark depression. Her son said she began to wither away. And this nigga is still smiling in this documentary. I don't think women understand that men are built completely different than us. Don't nobody care. He did not care that she was withering away. He did not care that she went into a deep, dark depression. All he cared about was he had LeVar. Oh, Tawana says, thank you for the 2-piece and the pepper. She said the family lives here in Atlanta. I might have to go talk to her. I just may have to. Somebody send me her information. Thank you, Tawana. Let's continue.
He had been bringing LeVar in front of my face all of this time, family meals, the church, my house.
Girl, now that's when I wanted to fight for her. LeVar was a family friend. LeVar was at Thanksgiving dinner. LeVar was at the fish fry. LeVar was all up in the house. LeVar was his girlfriend in the house. They would, you know how a man bring over, well, I don't know if they still do it these days, but back in the day, men would come over, when our grandma them and their little friend Bubba, and they would have beer and watch the game. LeVar was in the house, y'all, with the family. The whole time, that's his boyfriend. So the husband, who's the pastor, set up his entire life right in front of her. She was cooking for LeVar, cleaning. Bambi, that's what I'm saying. Natty said this ninja was diabolical, cooking. Look, you know how he said when he met her and she cooked for him, he said, woo, this woman can cook. I got to marry her. This woman can cook. So he had her cooking and cleaning for him and LeVar. Lord have mercy. And this is LeVar. And somebody says she's still cooking.
And he was sleeping with him.
Look how beautiful she was. You got to quit playing with me, ma'am. Look how beautiful, mesmerizing she was at her age. She didn't have to put up with Sandy the squirrel. Let me show you Sandy again. Look at Sandy. Let's go back to her. Are you freaking kidding me?
I said, I feel like you have hit me with a truck and you just keep running over me with the truck.
This is him and LaVar. This is today's date. This is him and his husband, LaVar. Ma'am, what you did is similar to corporate America. When they have every intention on replacing you, he let you train LaVar. LaVar was going to be your replacement, your backfill. He brought LaVar on the team. And you didn't know it when you was frying chicken and cooking and cleaning. You were training LaVar on the job in real time to replace you. It's very grimy. It's very wild. It's very dark because for me, the most important thing is this lady sacrificed herself to have a man. And the entire time while you frying chicken and LaVar, you probably thought, oh, I love my husband's friend. LaVar's so helpful. He sprayed the table down and helped me fold the napkins because LaVar is about to be the next Mrs. Meredith. That's what you didn't know. So LaVar needed to know, how does Dennis like his tea cakes? How does Dennis like his coffee, his 7-Up cake? Does he like cheese in his eggs? Okay. Does he like cheese in his eggs? With your tea cakes, do you flour them before or after? And does Dennis like sweet and low or real sugar? Oh, real sugar. Okay. Girl, you onboarded your husband's lover in your house. That's all I'm saying. Let's go and let's go to a different take. Give me 1 second. We got to go to a different take because there's other snippets that we may be able to use. Give me 1 second. I was just as shocked and sad as y'all because I kept thinking, where's your love for yourself? I couldn't even be mad at Dennis. I couldn't anymore because you allowed him to do this to you. Now, let me ask, for those of you tuned in, who do you feel bear the brunt of the responsibility? Dennis or the wife? Hold on.
I went over to my sister Pat's house and I was just crying. And she said, well, what's wrong? Is Dennis gay? I said, what you mean? She said, I already knew he was gay. I found out he was gay at the wedding. And she told me the whole reason.
Oh, the family watched her walk down the aisle with a gay man. Would you have said anything to your sister prior to her marrying him, after, before? Is it your business? Is it your duty to say anything? I don't know if she was in a serious case of denial. I think she was in a serious case of desperation, loneliness, and she was so young, y'all. Oh, y'all say y'all would have said something. We got yes, hell yeah, 100% from Kat. They said her family ain't shit. It's me, CC, say it's my business and my duty. Miss Ashley Matthews says spineless family. So y'all would have said something. If your sister got involved romantically with the man that she was going to marry, would you really go to her and say, girl, he gay and everybody knows it? Would you really? Mika says wife, that it's the wife's, she places the accountability on the wife for putting up with him. But yes, she would say something. Would y'all really? No. Aisha says, Queen, do you think the reason he agreed to marry and stay with her because he knew deep down she was a ride or die? No, because actually she targeted him, in my opinion. Before I go into detail of answering Aisha's question, does anybody else feel like she targeted him? That she hunted him? Thank you, Patricia. They probably knew she would not leave. Thank you, Awatless. You says Dennis did not lie to the wife. She knew just what. Yes, he never lied. Every time she confronted him, you have to watch the documentary. Every time she confronted him about gay rumors or gay porn, whatever, he told the truth. And she was beautiful. And anybody else feel like she targeted him? Yes. Hold on, let me go to the new comments. Okay, green tea. Mouton said yeah. Moton said yes. I got that, CC. CC said, I don't care if my sister leaves or not. I'm still going to say something if I find out that her man is gay. I'm going to say something. That's what some of you are saying. Gemini, Tennessee says, heck yeah. I would have confronted him in front of my entire family. Yeah, we're talking about family. You going to let your sister walk down the aisle when everybody know he's gay? Yeah, so she ended up, to answer your question, let me come back. Because somebody asked the question, do you think Dennis, the reason why he agreed to marry and stay with her, actually, he told her he didn't want to get married earlier on. She said God told her that he was her husband, Aisha. I don't think he knew enough about her to know she was a ride or die. I think once he saw that she was desperate and there's a possibility because of her desperation that she would probably be weak, that he probably is like, this makes the perfect beard. He did try to get out of that relationship. Now, he did say when she cooked for him, she laid it all. She did everything. She came, she gave her best. She cooked for him. They said she's a phenomenal cook. He said, I got to marry this woman. Then he kind of said, well, maybe not marriage. Then she said, okay. Then he came back and tried to date her a little bit. When he came back, they had sex. After they had sex, they prayed and fasted for sinning. And then they got married. I don't know if he identified her as a ride or die, but he identified her as weak. I would probably say weak. Because ride or die is weak to me. Why didn't Dennis leave his wife? He did leave her. He actually stood up in front of the church while he was preaching and told the entire church that he's in love with the man. And he made the man, LeVar, stand up in front of the church. Girl, imagine somebody doing you like that. I'm sorry. We would have told that church up. It's the principality of it, Smokey. It's one thing for you to have your preference. It's another. It's another to embarrass your first lady like that. Dennis, you was wrong as hell. Let's get into it. Let's see what else we know. Here we go.
People from his hometown came to the wedding. The church was packed. They knew him growing up. And so Pat said these women in the bathroom was talking about they never thought he'd ever get married because of his relationships with, other men.
Girl, he was gay before he married you. Everybody, the church was packed because it was a Comedy Central. It was a Comedy Central. I would go too. Aunt Natty said all them pews. Ah. Aunt Natty said all them pews would have been turned over. Let me hold on. That was a good one. Because I caught a visual of pews being upside down. Yes. So listen, y'all, they packed that wedding. Now she thought, and that the sad part is she thought the church was full. Yeah, we had a good turnout, girl, because you were the laughing stock. People from all over came to watch you marry this gay man that everybody knew was gay except you. Yeah, we would have threw hands in that church. Baby, I would have used the thing that they put the water in on the first Sunday. I would have, listen. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But let's continue.
If my sister had told me that these women in the bathroom were saying that Dennis was gay, and I confirmed that story, that he was gay and was having relationships with men all through his adolescence years and that kind of thing, and I believed it, I wouldn't have married him.
Baby, that's too much of a requirement. If she told me he was gay, if I went in the bathroom and talked to the women, if I confirmed it, if I saw proof, you wouldn't go nowhere. And that's why your sister didn't tell you nothing. And that's all I'm gonna say. It's a fine line. Ma'am, that's too many requirements to get the job. I gotta prove to you, I gotta tell you, and then I gotta do what? Hold on. Yeah, so that's that. You have to go watch it. I don't want to play all of it. Let me open up the lines real quick to get your take. I want to give everybody about 60 seconds real quick. We got about 10, 15 minutes. I want to hear your thoughts for those of you that have watched it or just want to share your thoughts on why do we have a spirit of long suffering? Because I feel like this woman was willing to suffer as long as she got to keep him. Where does that come from? As long as she got to keep him, she was willing to suffer. And the most devastating thing to her that happened in her marriage is when he left and when he stood up and he told the entire church and confessed his love for LaVar. Because her thing is, you got to be loving somebody because you ain't loving me. Ma'am, is that your only concern? Shelby Knowing, what are your thoughts? Welcome.
Hey, Queen, thanks for having me on. I just think, for first and foremost, this is a good series. Well, the one last night was good too, but talking about this one, I think she was just in denial. She's one of those women that I think just has to have a man and does anything to cover up for that man, even though it's not good for her or the family dynamic. And I just think that she wanted him regardless of what he wanted. And he was always truthful with her about what he wanted. So I just think she's the type of woman that, okay, regardless of whatever, he's telling me this, but I'm gonna turn a blind eye to it and I'm gonna still stick by him. So in a way, it was on her because he was always straight up. She could have left, family or not, kids or not. She had family. They would have helped her. She didn't have to stay there and endure that. And that's just my opinion.
Let me ask you, you say you feel like she thought that she could love him through his gayness because you remember her son when her son came out to say, I'm gay and I've been diagnosed with HIV. He was 20. We believe that there's a possibility her son was diagnosed, well, not diagnosed. What is it? Not captured. Her son was infected with HIV probably as a teen between ages 17 to 19, right? Didn't find out that he got it until 20, wasn't diagnosed until 20. When her son came to her to say, I'm gay and I have HIV, her response was, God is going to heal you. Do you feel like she felt like God was going to use her as a woman to love him through, heal him through his preference for men?
In a way, I think that was her own delusion. You know what I'm saying? I think that because the man was already straight up with her. Every time she caught him in something, he just came straight out and said, this is what I like. This is what I do. I think that was in her mind, that was a delusion that she wanted to think that, okay, this is going to happen. We can work through this and he's going to go get over this stuff. You know what I'm saying? As far as her kids, looking at this, the show, I knew she loved her kids and she was not going to turn her back on her kid, but her son is not her husband. So I'm thinking she was just in her mind delusional about her family dynamic. And that's just my opinion.
Okay. And did you watch this? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay. Remember before God told her that he was her husband, she had just gotten broken up by another guy in the church, remember?
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Now let me show her y'all the age that all of this happened. This lady could have had any man she wanted. So it wasn't like she was struggling in that department. Do you when you factor back then growing up how women were raised, if her sister knew he was gay, Do you think it was a woman issue or a her issue?
Queen, I think it was a her issue. I think it was a her issue because I'm looking at it from a
America.
point of if okay, you're married. I'm not married, so I can't speak on being married. But as a married woman, or even a woman that is, in a relationship with somebody, you are the first one to know, or have an inkling or a feeling if your mate is cheating or if something is just not right because the whole dynamic switches, right? You know when something is going wrong, and you
Now
know
you
when
just look
something is
around,
just not
whoever he's
right.
fucking,
And that's why I'm saying I know what she went through in the church, before, but I'm thinking it was just a delusion in her mind, or just a picture that she painted in her mind that, okay, this go round, it's going to be what I want it to be. It's going to be my ideal situation. So to me, I think she was just being delusional from the get go. And that's just, like I said, my opinion on it.
Okay, so I also think she was delusional towards the end. And let me ask y'all that: do those of you that were able to catch this episode, do you? What are your thoughts on her, y'all? Oh, let me be quiet before I don't want to put my I don't know. We don't know if the father molested the son. We don't know. They now this is okay.
They didn't
Um,
say that the father molested the son
well, think of the
or
show
anything
though.
like
What's the name
that.
of the show though, Shell? What's the name of the show?
Family secrets.
Okay, so we wouldn't know anyway, right?
Yeah, not if, well, no, they did, because they didn't say it. No.
Well, the show is called Family Secrets. This lady was going to carry this secret to her grave until her husband left her for another man. So there's no way that she's going to let us know if her son was touched by her husband. Number one, because she was going to carry the secret to her grave, right?
True. Yeah, I agree.
For 20, I mean, had been 20. He got up. He couldn't take living a lie anymore. It wasn't her. Look at her. Drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, she was beautiful.
Look, y'all. So it's not like I just I don't understand the dynamics. I don't understand. And she was willing to stay the entire time. He had to disrupt that relationship. He left, not her. She was willing to suffer. That's crazy to me.
And that's why, Queen, that's why I say it was an illusion in her mind of what she wanted or what she seen as a dynamic of a family. You know what I'm saying? Okay, she went through it and it failed the first time. So she's saying, this is just what I'm thinking, because I don't know any woman in their right mind that a man will come out and tell you that, hey, I'm into men and this is what it is. And that woman is going to stay there, not unless, I know some people out there that do, different freaky things, but and you have a family. I don't know a woman that a man could come to them and say, I'm into men, and that woman is just going to stay there knowing that this man is really never going to love her or give her the respect that she deserves. Because why? He doesn't even want you. He want a man. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say that she was delusional. I don't know why she was delusional. I don't know why she wanted to make it work so bad. We don't know that because it wasn't said, but that's why I keep using the word delusional, because it was something in her mind that she wanted a family dynamic, but she wasn't going to get it from him, and he didn't keep it a secret from her.
I agree.
That
And I don't
you're
want to
not going
just
to get this from me.
I think she was the perfect breeding ground for deceit, which is why I say he utilized her as a puppy mill. However, she had convinced herself that God told her that he was her husband. So there is just so much to unpack, right? And
Yeah.
one thing about the human will, if we're talking, they say he's a respecter of person. No, God will not take away your will from you. So if you feel like that's your husband, and you gonna walk down the aisle with a man who is clearly gay to the congregation, you said the church was People turned that church inside out to come watch that wedding. You said it was packed. There was not an empty seat in the house because the whole community was shocked. People have been, everybody knew he was gay. They couldn't believe a woman married him. So before after the other man broke up or whatever that relationship was, after that relationship ended, she said one day God told her, Dennis is your husband. Now that wasn't on him. That's on her.
True that. I totally agree with you on that. That's 100% accurate. That's true.
And then you say, there's a level of delusion going on here because we got to hold this woman accountable. This man, every time now, initially, he did not reveal to her that he preferred men.
No,
But
not initially he didn't.
no,
Nope.
but he did try to break it off with her. Can we say that?
Yes, we can. And what
Okay.
did she do? She still tried to, and I know what you just said, but she still tried to fight for it. She still tried to, we're going to get through this, we're going to make this work and all of this stuff. And that's what I just can't get in my mind. Like, why would you still want to fight for something? And this man is, now is telling you that, hey, I'm into men. You're really not what I want. This is what I really want to do. So why would you still keep trying to make something work with somebody that doesn't even
Watch
want anybody
this.
like you?
I'm glad you said that because she's still trying to make it work, in my opinion.
Right.
You
She
trying to
still
be a
trying to
side
make it
chick.
work.
Yeah, you trying to be a side chick to a openly gay couple. Watch this. Let me play this snippet. And Shelly, thank you. Shelly said 100 people told her that he was gay and she did not care. People showed up to the church. Ma'am, your wedding was packed, even with people that you did not invite. It's because people were shocked that you were marrying a gay man. But here we go. Yes, I'm about to show that. Sharikia, hold on. Watch this.
Okay, here we go. Now I want you to follow me in and bring these 2 dishes. Here we go.
Look at that.
Grandma's famous bananas. If you look at my family today, you see a blended family. You see 2 dads. You see 6 grandchildren, 3.
There go LaVar at the head of the table. Y'all, listen, I'm sorry. Your kids are adults. LaVar, somebody, she said, we have a blended family. Now, some people may say this is nice. How many of you feel like this is great? This is healthy. Even though the kids are an adult, that's still his father, and they're being accepting and loving towards his lover and his husband. Let me
Queen, to me, this
Mhm.
is cray. I mean, I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words. I was at a loss for words when I was watching it. And when I saw this part, I'm like, this lady, my God, what is wrong with her? I don't know what happened to her and why she feels like she need to hold on to something so toxic. Because that man is toxic to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be nowhere around him. I wouldn't want him in my vicinity. Him and his boyfriend could go to hell as far as I care. I mean, excuse my mouth, but that's what I mean. But yeah, I mean, is she still holding on? And that's the part that I don't understand. Somebody need to make it make sense to me with that part, because at this point in time, she's still holding on.
I don't know if we
She's
can. So,
still
y'all,
holding
for
on.
those of you that are saying, well, that's his husband, hold on. For 20 years, this lady has been in turmoil with this man, right? He stood up in front of the church, which he pastors, and she's the first woman, and said she didn't even know, and told everybody he was in love with LaVar. And LaVar was the love of his life. And LaVar is who he wants to be with. Okay, he left her for LaVar. And now she's cooking dinner for him and LaVar. Because these are all grown-ups. So her kids were not little kids. I'm not saying there has to be a level of hate. I'm not saying there has to be a level of confusion. But I believe, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience, that this lady put this man so much above herself. I question her reason for wanting to be a blended family. I think she's so what do y'all call it? When you're emotionally dependent on somebody. I think she has such an unhealthy attachment to her former husband that she's willing to do anything to be in his presence, including cooking for his husband and him, as they are now a couple. I don't think her reasons are healthy, is what I'm trying to say. Let me see what
I
the
totally agree.
okay.
I just that part I don't understand, Queen. That's the part I'm trying to grasp and trying to figure out, like, why are you still trying? She's still holding on to this man for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, but
And she's
it's like
never
almost
remarried.
right. It's almost like she has to, this attachment that she has to him or whatever, it's like almost like she has to have it.
I
But
feel like
why?
she's still operating as a wife.
Why? I don't know. I just don't. I
That's
don't
what I feel.
understand it. I don't
Let me go to
know.
my chat. Let me go to my chat. Miss Ashley Matthews says, LeVar wouldn't be allowed in my house. Mine neither.
Mine either, girl.
Wouldn't be allowed. Hell no. Look at my okay. You're gonna have to rewrite it, Sheila.
Mm-mm.
Hold on. Foxy says you can forgive, but you don't have to do all this. Alan says, I don't feel that this is great. Neither do I. I think it's very toxic. I think I think it's an act of desperation, Alan. I think it's a level of unhealthy dependence on him. Natty says, girl, bye. Any sympathy I have for her just went out the door. Look, cooking and cleaning. Actually, let me play it. Let me play the rest. And that's LeVar sitting there. They're not honoring her. Look at him grinning like a chess cat. Look, they're not honoring her. She's doing an act of service for them. Pay attention.
Okay, here we go. Now I want you to follow me in and bring these 2 dishes. Here we go.
Ooh, look at that.
Grandma's famous banana bread.
That's all.
If you look,
Y'all, they're behaving as husband and wife. I'm sorry.
And
They
he
are
over there looking like a
behaving.
chipmunk.
Foxy said LeVar is annoyed. They are, if you have been married, look at that. Yeah, look. Oh, that's husband and wife behavior. Let me rewind it. Okay, IMT authentically say, I'm curious, were they all having sex at the same time? What you mean? Like he was, yeah, I'm sure he was sexually active with both her and LeVar at the same time. Absolutely. Hold on. But I think at one point she did say that he maybe started to be unattracted to her. Hold on. And wasn't pursuing her at one point in the marriage. Hold on, y'all. Let's watch this again. Here we go.
2 dishes. Here we go.
Ooh, look at that.
Grandma's famous banana bread.
That's all.
If you look at my family today, you see a blended family. You see 2 dads. You see 6 grandchildren, 3 sons.
2 dads. I'm sorry. No.
Child.
These are not little kids. These are not little kids. LeVar is not a father figure. Because LeVar came into he was your husband's lover. He's not a father figure. I think he's younger than those boys, right? Or older. He's older. Or about the same age. They may be a peer group. LeVar, she said, you see 2 dads. Who's the little kid? Let me continue to go.
You see a gay son, 2 straight sons. You see nothing but love, compassion, and happiness.
I don't understand why she would refer to her husband and his husband as 2 dads and refer to her son as a gay son. Did you catch that, y'all?
I did. That's Queen. I don't know I don't know what her issues are. I don't know what happened to this woman in her childhood, in her preteen years, in her teenage years, in her, early 20s. Something is definitely wrong with her. Like somebody said earlier, forgiveness, but you don't have to do all that. That is the truth. I believe that wholeheartedly. I can forgive somebody, but you never forget. So I don't see what her infatuation, and it may be infatuation, it may be a good word, with this man I don't know what it is with him, and I don't know what it is with her that makes her feel like she is not worthy of more from a man or somebody that really wants her and desires her. He never wanted her. But like you said, at first we didn't know that. But then when he was honest with her, she was still trying to make it work. And as we see
She's
now,
still trying
he
to
is
make it
still
work.
trying to make it work. I
She's
don't
been
get it.
yes. Simone
I
says
just
she is delusional about this entire situation. LeVar looks like he wants to slap her because LeVar understands that if Dennis says the word, they gonna be in the bushes at the park.
exactly
She'll be
at
the
the
one in the bushes.
park.
In the
In the
park.
bushes, under the bushes, in the park with him, Dennis. But that's the thing. I That's the part that I can't connect because I don't know no woman that would put up with that, knowing that this man is telling you, you are not, I don't even desire you, ma'am. You're not even what I want. I'm telling you what I want, but you still trying to make it work. You still, for some reason, trying to connect with me and be in my space with my man. You know what I'm saying? That is what's not making sense to me. I
And
don't
there,
get it.
hold on. They said that first of all, she learned this behavior from her mom because her mom covered up the fact that she was being mistreated by her father. Her mom was married to a cheater. Now they never said who her daddy was cheating with, because what goes on in this house, what stays in
Stays
it,
in the house. Yeah, black
right?
people, that's what they love to say.
But they gave
Yeah.
so hold on, y'all, because I may have missed it. So the part that he gave her gonorrhea. That's crazy. That's wild. And y'all are saying that he admitted to being HIV positive. Is that correct? Or am I getting that confused with the son? For those of you in the chat, write it in the chat for me. Nola Girl Magic said he knows exactly what's wrong with her. He chose her for these very reasons because he knew he could be with men and she wouldn't have a problem with it because of her childhood trauma. Hershey said, I'm trying to tell you, I had a friend who did the exact same thing, had 2 kids by the man. You know, and it makes me think of the Naziah Harris case of the auntie that knew that he was a sex offender, had 5 kids with him, and still brought him around Naziah. Does that make sense?
Mm.
And that's not even like a situation about, well, it kind of is a situation about sexual orientation because Jarvis Butts is attracted to children. So that is a situation about sexual orientation where grown women know or have an idea and still move full speed ahead. Let's finish this scene and see what else we have.
Happiness and acceptance. But it took work, I promise you.
Only person in the entire world that could have done this.
That man is happy. That man is in hog heaven. Let me redo it. He got his wife, technically, because she's still emotionally married to him. Just watch him. Don't worry about her. Watch him. Let's go.
Dads. You see 6 grandchildren, 3 sons. You see a gay son, 2 straight sons. You see nothing but love, compassion, and happiness and acceptance. But it took work, I promise you.
Only person in the entire world that could have done this was her.
It just wasn't overnight. It was years of healing, years of acceptance.
Black women, quit accepting a lease. That at the end of the day, your prize is people showing up to eat your banana pudding because you suffer for 25, 30 years. We don't see no flowers on the table. We don't see shit. She made the banana pudding. And they said the only person that could make this happen was her. And the only thing she gets is a quick 3-minute scene of people eating her banana pudding. That is not a prize.
And ain't not at all.
That is crazy. I'm looking, I'm like, where she did all the work yet again. Let's continue.
Journey.
18 years in the
It's been a journey.
This is a journey of our family.
And now we're stronger than we were before this all happened.
God put me and her together, and God.
Now, see, now that's why I would have beat your ass on camera. Oh, Oprah would have got a show that day.
That whole
Oprah
house
would have
would have
got a
been
show
tore
that
up,
day.
Queen. That whole house and that table and everything would have been flipped over, turned over. Everybody, his glasses would have been sideways, and that this
Baby, I
is
would have
shit
got
crazy.
listen, baby, I would have got Sandy the squirrel right on together.
Exactly. Look at him. Look at he knew what he was doing from the
Look at
beginning.
LeVar. Look at LeVar.
He like, look, I ain't for this shit. I'm just here. I ain't for it. But his
LeVar
glasses would
know
have
he's
been
full
twisted
of
all the way
it.
around. Wow.
Hold on, let
This
me
is crazy.
rewind it. I'm finna rewind it, y'all. I love to my husband hate watching TV with me. I'm finna rewind it. Listen. Look at LeVar.
Of our family.
And now we're stronger than we were before this
He
all happened.
lying too.
God put me and her together, and God
Look at LeVar.
put me and him together.
LeVar said you talking some bullshit right now, bro.
Bruh, don't put God in there. Even LeVar embarrassed. Hold on, let's
He
continue.
is.
Look how he looking. Look at Sandy. Sandy is happy, honey.
She like, I'm in y'all presence. I'm good. I don't know about you, LeVar, but I am good, honey.
No, I
This thing,
call the husband Sandy the squirrel.
he is. He look like,
Okay,
yeah, a chipmunk.
hold on. Here we go.
It was very difficult.
Look at him, baby. You can't tell him nothing. He is everybody uncomfortable. She's uncomfortable. LeVar is uncomfortable, but he is hog heaven. Hold on,
But we're good friends.
sir. Sir,
Quit, stop, because you're going to kill me laughing at this
Lydia,
chipmunk.
I
Look
think
at
we're
him.
at the best place we've ever been.
look, get your hands off me.
I
There are
would
no
have smacked his
secrets.
hand so hard
And
it
I
would have
think
hit
that's
that
a
wall.
wonderful way to live with
Oh my
people you
God.
love.
Hold on.
Dennis's secret deconstructed my life,
Mm-hmm.
but it gave me the kind of faith that has made me stronger and wiser.
Here's my husband, and this is my ex-wife.
Oh my God.
And I'm sitting in between them, and we enjoying it.
Eating her dessert.
And eating her dessert that my
Baby,
ex-wife
I don't want that kind of love.
cooked in
Oh my
my
God.
husband's
Me
kitchen.
either,
Hold
Queen.
on. Shell, mute up real
Mm-mm.
quick. I want them to hear this. Mute up real quick. Hold on. How this man is giving this acceptance speech. Hold on. Here we go.
We're stronger than we were before this all happened.
God put me and her together, and God put me and him together. It was very difficult, but we're good friends. Me and Lydia, I think we're at the best place we've ever been. There are no secrets. And I think that's a wonderful way to live with people you love.
Dennis's secret deconstructed my life, but it gave me the kind of faith that has made me stronger and wiser.
Here's my husband, and this is my ex-wife, and I'm sitting in between them, and we enjoying it.
Eating her dessert.
And eating her dessert that my ex-wife cooked in my husband's kitchen.
Y'all better than me, but let me finish it out.
I could not be that person today if I hadn't gone through that. And I know that I'm supposed to use my experience to help others.
Who?
Secrets are poison, and they will kill you. Nothing but pain comes from that space. But forgiveness will set you free.
I would like to see you remarried, ma'am.
When you're looking for something, there is this.
Well, y'all, that's it. That's all we have. That's all we have for this on this segment of Family Secrets. But listen, neither would I. Who? You ain't finna have me getting gonorrhea.
Child, she
ma'am.
couldn't tell me nothing to and Queen. She couldn't tell me nothing. Honey, tell yourself that. You can't tell me nothing. No,
Listen.
ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Can't
Mm-mm.
tell me nothing, honey. Thank you, but no thanks. I appreciate it, but you can keep that to yourself, honey.
Now let's look at this week's. They said let me show y'all the new episode that's coming up. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
It was good, Queen.
I'm gonna just do a snippet. Okay, let me do a teaser so that they can see if it's worth them watching. Hold on. Let's see. Uh-oh. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to find it for y'all. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Family secrets. She tried to find. Okay, I think this is it. Is it about birth mother or something like that?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, here we go. I'm about to share it. I hope this is a teaser. I hope I'm not. I don't want to give it away. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go down far enough. I think that's 3. Okay, I think I got it. Give me 1 second. Is this about the stepfather secret? Here we go.
After 30 years, I finally got it. My original unredacted birth certificate. It had where my birth mother was living at the time, and it had her name. Like, oh, we have it. Oh my God. Like, that's her name. Deborah. And the name that I was born with was Kelly Ann. My mother's age was there. She was young, she was 15. The father was not listed. Once I was able to see my birth mother's name, then it was like, okay, now I have some place to go with this.
I remember being in the room, like in her room, when she opened it, there was excitement. And like, this is the first step to kind of getting, some more information.
So the very first thing was, if my birth mother was born in Harvey, what high school would she have gone to in 1966? There were 2. One of the high schools at the time was predominantly white. So I'm like, nope, that's not going to be it. Then another high school, that's where I hit. I remember touching the yearbook and just thinking, this person is real. This name. Now I can put a face to it. I got her transcript. That was the golden ticket. It had Deborah's address at the time. It had Deborah's address at the time, her parents' names, Deborah's address at the time, her parents' script. That was the golden ticket. It had Deborah's address at the time.
Oh my God. Y'all never told me y'all couldn't hear me. Shell, you supposed to tell me that. Shell. Ain't nobody, I've been doing this whole thing. Ain't nobody said we could. Shell, that's why you here on the panel. You supposed to say we can't hear you.
I didn't know that you were saying anything. I thought you was just letting it play. I'm sorry. I didn't know
Oh
you
my
were
God.
commentating in the thing. I'm sorry, Queen.
Oh, that's okay. Hold on.
Because I had myself on mute because I didn't want to,
Okay.
say anything or anything. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's cool. You can go back on mute. Just if you see me stopping it and I'm not, that means I'm on mute. Oh, I've been talking. So listen, real quick, I have to break it up because of YouTube. I am able to use it by the fair copyright rule. However, I need to make sure that I'm utilizing it in an educational and teaching purposes. That's why I stopped to hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. Number one, her mom was 15 when she had her. Okay, on this birth certificate. Her mother was 15 years old when she had her. To me, what this is saying is that there's a possibility this woman went looking for her mother because she don't believe whatever it is that the family has told her about who she is, okay? And the fact that her mom was 15 when she delivered a baby tells me that she was probably impregnated at age 14. To me, that's horrible in and of itself. Because I want kids to be kids, right? Voluntarily or involuntarily, somebody impregnated this young girl.
And the name that I was born with was Kelly Ann. My mother's age was there. She was young, she was 15. The father was not listed. Once I was able to see my birth mother's name, then it was like, okay, now.
So the birth certificate didn't have a father. Could it be that the mother was sexually assaulted? Did y'all catch that? Because I'm gonna go watch this episode right now. Why is there not a father listed on this birth certificate? We can't say he's dead because she would still know. Why did the mother not reveal the name of the father?
Now I have some place to go with this.
I remember being in the room, like in her room, when she had opened it, there was excitement. Like, this is the first step to kind of getting, some more information.
So the very first thing was, if my birth mother was born in Harvey, what high school would she have gone to?
So she does a process elimination, locates the city, town, state, hones in on the high schools. One high school was segregated then during 1966. So she says, I know it can't be this high school. Let me try the other high school. It has to be that one.
In 1966. There were two. One of the high schools at the time was predominantly
all white.
So I'm like, nope, that's not going to be it. Then another high school, that's where I hit. I remember touching the yearbook and just thinking, this person is real.
So she finds her mother in a yearbook of the other school. So there was two high schools she had to choose from. First one, absolutely not. They didn't even allow Black students to be here. Whoa, we got it on the second one. She locates her mom, who's listed as Deborah Wilkinson. Looks like
this name. Now I can put a face to it.
Does she look like her mom to you, Shell? Real quick.
I think she does.
Okay. Let me let it play so we can see her face.
I got her transcript.
Now, the reason why I stopped it here when y'all say, Queen, I wanted to see what these grades was looking like. I said, I'm nosy. So from 1966 to 67, I said the mom, and I don't mean no disrespect. And probably if the mom was being abused, I can understand why the grades are so low, but the grades were kind of struggling. We got a B, we got a C, we got D's. Looks like we got one F. It wasn't like, there may have been some challenges, okay?
That was the golden ticket. It had Deborah's address at the time, her parents' names, what both parents did for a living.
They had the Argo corn products. Mother was a little company. Okay, all right.
I was excited to have the information and excited to share it with my mother. But I held off picking up the phone and calling her because by now we found out that my mother had cancer.
Hold on. She must be talking about her adopted mother. Got it. Are you following, Shell?
Yeah, I'm here because I've seen it and I don't want to say anything.
Okay, don't ruin it.
I don't want to tell anything. Yeah, I don't want to tell anything.
Did I get it right by adopted mother so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't say nothing. Am I right about the man? Okay, am I don't say yes or no. Just say, okay, am I in the ballpark with the father not being on the birth certificate?
You on it.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
In May of 2017, my grandma passed away. We were all very sad, devastated.
Having lost my mother, now to go look for another mother, I felt guilty about that. And so I stopped.
Okay, she stopped because she said the guilt was eating her up. And plus, you know what? I agree. I mean, that's fair. You're still grieving.
When you're grieving, you want to be surrounded by family. So when talking to my mom, I told her into the new year, we should probably start looking again for your birth mother.
All right. That's all we got. I haven't seen it. I'm just guessing. And it looks like, thank you, Shell. Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
You're
Um,
welcome, Queen. I just didn't want to say anything, and I apologize for the not letting you know that you couldn't be heard. But I just thought maybe the video was buffering or something like that. I didn't know, so my bad on that.
no, I just be fussing. That's it.
I,
I
I
just be
know
over
how
here.
you do. Are we good?
Okay. All right. So I'm about to go watch it, y'all. I'm finna go watch it because I want to know why there was not a father on that birth certificate. And I'm just thinking out loud, either she was taken advantage of sexually.
Mm,
That's what that's all I can think of a 14-year-old back in that day. Them little girls, they were built different from us. You know what I mean? They didn't have all that Instagram model experience, shaking their butt like that. So it leads me to believe that there's some type of trauma and abuse. We're gonna
it's
talk about
gonna
it
be a
next.
good one. I'm looking
Okay.
for your commentary on that one because it's gonna be a good one. Once you watch it, it's gonna be a good one. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Well, this concludes our thank you, everybody. Thank you, moderators. Oh, we've done 3 lives today. I know y'all got to be tired. And look, thank you, everybody. I will see. We're gonna do party in the chat tomorrow. Okay. I'm finishing up the Real Housewives of Miami reunion. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. We're doing party in the chat. Party in the chat will focus primarily on Bell Collective. Got it?
Got it.
They said, didn't yeah, has the second episode aired? Yes or no?
I watched it last night.
So it's on. Okay. It's on. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Thanks, Queen.